Hey everybody, welcome to Houdini Hangout. My name is Peter and I'm the host of the stream. Welcome. Here we are at the beginning of February, February 12th. And yeah, we're kind of picking up where we left off last week. So we're going to uh, kind of do a quick recap of what it was that we set up. And then we will, look at, the just some ideas and things like that to maybe move us forward a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of the idea for this evening. If you were with us last week, I had a gigantic crash at the end of the stream, which was really funny. I think it was the biggest one I've ever had while live streaming, which I mean, not the biggest one I've ever had on my computer, but it was pretty funny. So yeah, you can always go back and take a look at that. And yeah, so we are going to be doing a little bit of this thing, this like trypophobia effect type thing that I don't really know what else to call it. It's basically some art that someone had put out there, and I'm going to pull that up again just so that we have it so we can talk about it here. So yeah, warning, if you do have trypophobia and this kind of stuff freaks you out, sorry about that. I hopefully it's not too big of a deal, but yeah, so warning before we get into anything. All right, so this is what we're going to be looking at again, this type of a thing. Lots of different options here, lots of different ways that this could work, ways that this could look. Yeah, lots of options here. So I think what we're going to do is basically we've gotten the kind of the shape of the foam and these tubes set up, and not, well, like the general shape of the foam. Now we're going to try to get some of the details going and maybe bring it over and render and do some of that type of stuff with it. I don't know. We'll see what we can get into there. But that's the idea here. So we're going to be doing this type of thing and continuing along from there. Yeah, so just like I say before any of these streams, if you're new here, if you've watched these before, there really are no dumb questions when it comes to Houdini. I think everybody's kind of been at the beginning of their journey, and so if you're there or you're trying to figure stuff out, great, ask the questions. This is the safe place to ask those kind of questions, and if you're seeing me do something that seems confusing or you don't understand it, ask. I'll try to do my best to explain it and make the best sense of it. And maybe I'm just not doing a good enough job of explaining something, so I can always try to give some more details and things like that. Or if you see me doing something that you think is dumb, you can always drop that in the chat too and let me know, hey, be a better way to do this here, because there's always more than one way to do things. And I think a lot of us, but me especially, have a propensity to kind of find the most difficult option out there. So that happens a lot of times to me. So yeah, if you see any of that kind of stuff, or you just want to be a part of the chat, please drop some comments in there, questions, ideas, thoughts, whatever you've got going on. So that's kind of my little PSA at the beginning of any of these streams. Feel free to comment or be a part of the process along the way. I've had some great math help and conceptual help and all sorts of different stuff over the many streams that I've done now at this point. So yeah, I welcome them all. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice. I have been doing this for a little while now, so hopefully I have some good insights, but I always there's no end to the information that's out there that one might need. So yeah, I appreciate everybody's help whenever they may see something that I'm doing that's not so smart, and hopefully I can give you stuff that will help you maybe that you haven't seen before. So we'll have a little bit of that mutual learning stuff, because we're all learning, right? So anyways, enough psychological philosophical stuff. Let's jump in and do some Houdini. Sorry if I'm a little sniffly here. It is definitely the middle of winter and the air is dry and the heat is on constantly. So my apologies if I do sniffle from time to time. My sinuses and nose are just fun. It's just fun to live in that kind of a climate. I have to say I do enjoy the cold versus like having a hurricane or something, but you know, there's positives and negatives. Anyways, here's what we've got going on so far. Let's take a look at it. So we've got our tubes here, right? We've got our tubes, and then in between we have our foam setup going here. And I was thinking about this a little bit this morning when I was getting ready just to kind of start my day, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, really the thing that we want to do here is have these larger, kind of larger to smaller sized bubbles, really. Probably the larger sized ones would go on the surface if I'm thinking about it correctly. So that's kind of interesting. And then we have smaller and smaller bubbles, right? So a lot of these have these larger bubbles on the surface. And so I think what we want to do is kind of step down in complexity, or not complexity, in scale of these elements. And so there was a really interesting video that was shared on the Discord server. Let me see where that went to and pull that up real quick. PDW shared that, and it was an Antagma one. It's actually a guest video, and I'm just going to pause this so we don't get too far into it. But it's kind of interesting because it was like this type of let me see if I can. I'm going to mute this just for a second here. Let's see if we can get. Oh, that's weird. Hi. That's very bizarre. Where's the image of this? Why did that stop? That was weird. Anyways, so this is sort of conceptually like it. Oh man, it like fades off before I want it to. So this is sort of a similar type of an effect. It's a little different because I think it's a surface representation of the same thing, whereas we're trying to go with a volumetric approach. And honestly, there's probably an Antagma tutorial where they've done this stuff. They've done so many, and it's hard for me to remember them. And they're amazing. You should go watch them. You'll learn a ton. This is where I learned a lot of stuff from. So please go check it out. But this is a little different, I think, than what we're doing, but maybe conceptually will be similar. And I had remembered this actually probably a couple hours ago. And I was like, oh, I got to look at this video. And when I did, I was like, oh, this is pretty similar to what I was kind of thinking of this morning when I was getting ready. So it kind of was a confirmation of like, this is probably a smart way of going with this. So anyways, so that is, that's what we're going to try to do here. So let's change our method a little bit here. Sorry, I have a tea-chino, coffee-like tea that I'm drinking. So I might have to mute every so often here. Okay. So I think what we could do is we should maybe think of a couple different things here. So we've got our foam surface, right, that we're kind of working with here. And what we had before was we were doing this VDB. Oh, that's super slow. I forgot about that. This VDB. Great. Thank you, NVIDIA. Sorry, let me just mute a couple things here. Great. So we had this just kind of uniform representation of the VDB to spheres here. And I think the reasoning here is that the radius is relatively uniform. And so let's just kind of set these back a little bit. So we'll do something like this and this. And maybe we'll do, I don't know, 1,000 or something like that. And maybe what we should do here is not do a minimum radius, but maybe give it a maximum radius. So we can kind of play around with this a little bit. And this actually might be a really good first step. Because if we look at this, this is our VDB representation here. And we have it as, you know, we have this as a surface so we can sort of see what we're looking at here. But you can see how this is taking up the voids differently here. And we've got these much larger scaled particles, right? And the interesting thing here is that it actually kind of hits the threshold, and that does make sense on some levels, right? Because we only have so much room between these different points here. So I don't think we're going to hit, a huge ability to make larger and larger particles, right? We kind of hit a wall, right? Because there's a certain amount of distance between these tubes. Anyways, so I think this could be kind of an interesting way to start this off. Although I kind of think that having having some large bubbles scattered on the surface might actually be a more interesting thing to start with, to be honest. So maybe what we're going to do here, I think, is we've got this surface, right? This is all just a VDB. And what I think we should do is continue to kind of eat away at this VDB until we have just the remainder that's going to be these tiny particles. And then we can do the VDB, like the really high density VDB to spheres on that alone. And it should give us a better performance because we're not trying to do, hey, Tom, welcome. And then hopefully it'll give us a little bit better performance because we're not trying to do this crazy amount of particles that all have random sizes and blah, blah, blah. So let's try that. Let's see where we can get with that. So first of all, I think what we're going to do is, I think what we can do is just do this convert VDB. We'll actually use this, right? Because we have this surface. And what I think we could do here is, this is sort of the upper surface of this foam, right? And so what we could do is we could do a normal on this and then just delete things that aren't pointing towards these directions. Do we have, no, I don't think we'll have a point normal on here. No. So let's just do a normal and we'll set this to be points here. Sorry, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So then we've got point normals there. Just if you're not aware, point normals will have a different visualization than if we do vertex normals. Vertex normals, you can see, have multiple for each vertice. And so just something to keep in mind there. You can always... Hey, Stuart, welcome. Nice to have you on the stream. Nice to have you in the chat, I should say. Okay, so we have this. Let's do a, I think we can do a, yeah, that's what it is. Mask. Sorry. My brain, had a little hiccup there. So I think we can do mask by feature, I think is what we want. And yep, we should be able to do this. So this actually would be easier. We can just do the mask by feature. That's fine. I forgot about this node. And so what we should be able to get here is a mask value. I'm going to turn off this. And basically what we'll do is this is basically just a directional mask. So this is more or less doing kind of a dot product against this direction versus the normal direction, right? So, or at least this should be very similar to that. That was what I was going to do, but this is actually going to work pretty well. So we've got this directional mask. And what we can do now is if we look here, we should have mask values that go from, 0 to 1, basically. And there's no -1 and no negative values. So what we could do is we could do a blast and just say, we could say points, and we'll say delete non-selected, and we'll say at mask is greater than 0. And I think that'll give us a nice surface representation. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be something for us to kind of start with here. And I am going to, because this is actually now visualized, we're seeing some points there, I believe, that are being visualized, because those are standalone points, so they're being visualized as spheres because I have it set up in this HIP file that way. So let's do this. Let's just do a quick clean. I think that will get rid of those if I'm remembering correctly. Yep. So that'll get rid of just any like floating points and stuff like little points that are just kind of sitting around here. And now we've got this surface, and we can sort of scatter some points onto this. And I think that'll give us some pretty interesting results. So let's see what we can do there. Let's do I think a scatter and a line might be good because I feel like that's going to make sure that the scale is appropriate to these. So let's see that here, and let me just visualize this. Yeah, sort of doing it. Let's do it by number of points. We can kind of play around with this a little bit here. I think we'll turn this way down. Let's turn this down to like 100 large ones, right? And we'll do the coverage maybe a little bit higher. And we're gonna need P scale. Oh, I see. Yeah, this actually won't be the best way of doing it. Let's do it by size, and that should be good. So we'll do some minimum radius ones here, and we'll do some maximum radius ones here. We'll sort of see what we can get up to with these larger surfacey kind of bubbles. And what we could also do here too is we could blast this even further to say greater than like 0.25, and that'll only be these really up top sort of vertical points. So let's see that. Let's also ghost these other things. I just want to see what this is going to sort of look like just to get an idea here. Those are intersecting. I don't love that. Yeah, let me try. Let me just see if I can reduce this even a little more. Maybe that'll pull some of these in further. Yeah, looks like it will. And that might be good. It doesn't really matter. We're just doing an arbitrary surface here. So dot product. Hello there. You have a very Cyrillic name. So welcome to the stream. However I would say that. So nice to have you here. That is beyond my my skill level. All right, so maybe we'll just do 0.5. That seems like a fairly good spot. I mean, granted, this is kind of depending on the slope away from this up vector, so there are some odd holes here. But that might be sort of interesting to do. The other question is, do we... Maybe what we do, okay, I'm just thinking here. So maybe what we do is instead of doing this, we set this back to 0.25. That actually felt like a pretty good amount. But instead of that, what we could do is we could Boolean this first. So let's do that. So let's grab our thin tubes. No, I want to get, oh yeah, this would work. We've got our polytubes here, so that would work just fine. So let's take this, and we're actually going to pull this down here, and let's do a Boolean. This is going to go here, and we're going to Boolean from this. But now, obviously, there's no Boolean really going to be happening here because they're not intersecting per se. But, oh, this is going to be a surface too. I need to change it to a surface, then we should be fine. What we're going to do is we're going to do a peak here. I think this will do what we want it to, so we can push the boundary of that out a bit, and that will give us a little bit more control. I went way too far. Got a little too excited. Let's take a look at this here. Yep, there it is. So let's do 0.25 maybe. Maybe 0.5. And this is, again, just remember, this is just, no, that's too far. This is just me sort of cutting away from these to make sure that they're not going to get too close to these tubes. And I think this is going to do the trick. You know, you don't always have to do some crazy complicated thing, right? The other thing to kind of keep in mind here is that we can look at the P scales of these here. Let's see if let's see what those are telling us here. Where are P scales? Here, yep. And our largest are 0.35. So if this distance is 0.25, I'd venture to guess that there's pretty much no way. I think I got my like tumble mix there. There's pretty much no way that these are going to overlap now because they're going to be a bit further away. And so now what we should be able to do is maybe kind of play around with these values a little bit more and see what we want to get here. So if we do 0.1, maybe 5 or something, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. We've got some bigger bubbles there. Oh, this one is actually intersecting. So I'm just going to go a little further on this peak. We're going to say 0.3, and that'll hopefully knock that out. Yeah, there's one there. So let's just do the same. We'll do 0.35. Just kind of play around with this a little bit, see where we can get it. And this is just basically controlling what sections this can actually add in these big kind of surface bubbles that we're going to have. So I think that's kind of interesting. We've got some bigger sized bubbles here. Maybe we'll pull this upper size down a little bit to like 0.4, and we could probably pull this back to 0.3. I think that'll be fine. So now we've got some bigger kind of surface bubbles that are going to sit on the top of this surface like that. And that could be kind of interesting. So let's start with this. And now a thing to keep in mind here is that these are actually just visualizations of that. So here, no, sorry, where is it? Geometry. So we can just do this as points, and those are actually the points. So we don't actually have any geometry happening here. So what we could do from this, I think if we do a VDB from particles, yep, we should be able to get that. And let's make sure these voxel sizes match up. I know we have one somewhere. It's probably this one. That's the one driving a lot of this. Yep. So we'll do this. I'm just going to copy my parameter here just to make a little reference to that, just to make sure. Paste relative references. Now we have a nice, now we have all similar references here that we can use. So let's pull this down here. I'm actually going to disconnect that just for now, just so it doesn't accidentally do anything and just slow us down. So, okay, so we have our foam surface. Let's cut out this from it, right? So this is going to be more of a utility thing. These are going to be, I'm just going to make a null here just so that we can say that these are our, we'll say out large surface bubbles, something like that. And that's a green one. Cool. All right. So now we've got our VDB that we can pull here. And let's do a, I'm typing SDF because this is a SDF VDB. And I want to subtract this from the original. So that's going to be our foam surface. I'm going to say VDB just so we know what we're looking at here. All right. And so now we have this, and this is subtracted from that surface. So that's good. So now we're kind of getting somewhere here. So now this is our new surface minus these bubbles, right? So if we had those bubbles showing, that would be inside of the, or that would be, they'd be taking up this surface here. So cool. All right. Let's now do some maybe mid-sized particles. So we've got, I'm going to turn these back on just to display them as lit spheres because I think that's a little easier to see. And let's come back over here. And now we could actually probably use this. I just want to see what we have this set to. Cool. All right, let's see what this is going to do. All right, so definitely too big. That's interesting. Huh. Why are those showing up differently? That's interesting. I don't understand that. 0.3. Huh. Why would those be different? Hold on a second here. There was a question here, it looks like, in the chat. I don't know what this was set to, maybe 0.5. Shred Major was just asking, hi, I thought of a question while watching. For working on shared projects, is there like a universal color code? No. Not that I know of. Never heard of one. I'm just doing colors for my own mental's sake. I think I've said this before. I think I got a lot of those from Steve Nipping, I think, and I just have kind of stuck with them, for good or bad. I don't have any reason for coloring them beyond that. So yeah. Interesting. So I'm confused by this. It seems like I'm just gonna have to do something real quick here. Okay. So then why are these so much bigger? That's interesting. I'm not sure why this is the case, but it seems like that is what we're actually getting here. Okay, that's fine. We can work with this. Let's say 0.3 instead. And let's turn the coverage down a little bit here. Don't need it maybe quite so high. It doesn't really change all that much. Yeah, I guess I'd rather have a few more bubbles in there. That's fine. Okay, interesting. So, okay, that's very interesting. I'll just keep this around in case I want to look at it. So that's good to know. I kind of thought that the visualization of this would be correct, but it seems to be half the size. Yeah, it seems to be half the size, which is really odd. I wonder if that's a mistake. I'm gonna have to look into that one. Anyways, okay. So we've got our VDB to spheres here. And I think we want to make this a bit smaller. And what I'm going to do here is go down a little bit in this. We'll do 500, maybe 10,000, something like that. And we'll go to 0.1 maybe. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay, interesting. Let me see how that stacks up to these. Yeah, maybe 0.5 would be better. And we can do 1,000 here. Maybe 10,000. Okay, so we've got 10,000 there. And that's not right. So that's not really going to help us at all. What it would be is this. Sorry, I'm just seeing if yeah, It was a little better to do this. That's interesting. Anyways, okay, so those are going to be like our medium-sized bubbles. So I think what we could do here is we could grab another VDB from particles, throw this in here. Oh, is this not going to be able to... Yeah, it's going to be a little too small. So let's bring this down a little, maybe. Give it a second to calculate, because we've added some more stuff in here. Yeah. Well, maybe what we could do... Okay, sorry, I'm just thinking here. Maybe the... Let me just look at these here. Maybe a better thing to do would be, instead of doing this all with an SDF, doing it with a surface instead, but that's... It's kind of questionable. See, the problem we're going to run into here is that this, we're not really going to... Oh, that's actually not bad. Guess I could do that, and that will certainly work. It's probably not ideal, but let's just see here. Can I turn this back up? I can't. Okay, so let's do this. We'll just turn this down a little bit. Give it a second. All right, let's see how many polygons we... Or, 1.6 million. I mean, that's not that crazy amount. Hey, welcome, Kef. Welcome. We're doing some bubbly, foamy stuff. That's what we're doing. All right, so let's take this and let's do the same thing here that we were kind of doing before. And so this will be... We're going to call this, put another null here, say out medium internal bubbles, something like that. And this will be an output for those. Then we'll get this. And then we can do the foam. We can subtract this again. So we can pull this down, wire this in here, wire this in here. And now we should have another kind of Swiss cheesed VDB here. And there should be less volume there. And let's do another one of these. Just kind of keep playing that game here and see what we can get up to. So this one is going to be only on the volume that is sort of remaining here. And let's bring this down smaller. And let's see if we can't do something to get some more points here. And actually, maybe our best bet here would be to pull all of these in. Take this. Grab that as well. And then can wire those all in together like that. Like so. And then we could take this and just visualize it real quick here. See what we've got going on here. And yeah, we're starting to get something interesting. Now, it's not what we want yet, but something's happening. So let's come back over to here. And honestly, I wonder if we could just do a scatter on this volley and do a lot of points. Might be a few too many points. Okay. All right. Right, that's on the surfaces. So if we do VDB convert here, change it to VDB, but change an SDF to a fog, and then do this with it, how will that work? Okay, okay, cool. Oh, right. This doesn't have a P-scale output on it. So let's output that. What will that do for us here? They're too big. Okay. That's awesome. Cool VFX. I love that. Yeah, that would be that'd be a beast of a machine. That'd be really nice. Yeah, I was hoping to maybe build one this year, but again, I don't know. I think my money is going to go other places, so that's that's my current thought here. So that is really cool, though. I love that. Let's do a attribute adjust float here. And I'm just going to multiply this times 0.5. Yeah, it's getting there. Something's happening, but it's not quite right yet. Have I done much with Python states? Not a ton. I've done a little bit with viewer states, but a lot of help with that was from Tom. No, I'm not really much of a Python coder, so no, I haven't done a ton with it. But they're pretty cool. You can do a lot of stuff with them. I did one for like a little math, like thing that I made for teachers. Let's see here. How does this look then? Okay. That doesn't change anything. What if we do this? This will change something. That's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, hey, the other thing too is like, if you're just getting started out and learning and things like that, or if you're feeling like you're kind of at the earlier stage of your journey, it might make more sense to go with something like the high end Ryzen. I know a lot of like really good VFX people use that. People that are like you would probably really respect. And so a lot of people love those. I think the thing that those have that's nicer is that there's a higher single threaded speed on those versus multi-threaded. And so if you have a single threaded process in Houdini, that can be your bottleneck a lot of times. So that could certainly be that could be a benefit as well if you're kind of in that building and pricing phase. And that'll save you a lot of money. And you should be also, yeah, there you go. Stuart Scott saying that as well. The thing that'll save you is obviously a ton of money, and then you could invest that into other things. And maybe instead of spending the extra money, you could have another GPU, and that'll actually probably speed your renders up in something like Karma or Redshift way faster than your CPU could. But just a little 2 cents to think about it, playing devil's advocate. I have a Threadripper. I want to make another Threadripper computer because that new Ryzen chip is about the same like benchmark speed as this one is. So I really don't think there'd be a huge bump in performance for me. So I'm kind of in that boat. But if you're working on a 13-year-old PC, any computer is going to be screaming fast comparatively. So. All right, so let's see what's going on here. What if we do this? I'm kind of thinking we might just want to go a little crazy here. I mean, let's just be nuts. I mean, 400,000 points isn't that many. It's just taking a little bit of time to calculate them in this volume. Okay. All right, let's see how that looks, because that's way faster than doing it the other way. It's not quite at the density we need, but it is certainly getting there. Sort of interesting. No, I'm so confused. What is happening? Oh, right. That's not the right. Right, this isn't the right visualization. Okay. Crazy. I think this will only take a few seconds, hopefully. Yeah, I'm going to guess it's going to take 20 seconds. Yeah, 20 seconds exactly. All right, let's see how this is packing them in here. The funny thing is it doesn't really feel like they're getting all that much more solid, which is kind of interesting. The other thing that might... Yeah, so that's a great point. Cool. I think especially now with the 5000 series being quote unquote released, the 5090 has 32 gigs of RAM, and that's pretty good. GPU RAM, and that's good. So I think you'd probably get away with a lot of stuff on that, unless you're doing gigantic scenes. So anyways, yeah, interesting conversation. I always love these kind of thoughts and things like that. Okay, so maybe what we do instead here. Let's do this. Let's bring this back to a polygon instead of... Yep, cool. And then what if we do... this is probably the same thing, though. I was going to say points from volume, but that's probably the exact same. Actually, maybe that's better. Maybe this will be better. Hold on. Hold on. Because that... Sorry. Points from volume can do the same thing. Okay. Yep. Maybe this will be way better. We can do the jitter scale at 1. Yes. Okay. This is going to be way better. The source type is auto detecting, so that's good. Okay. That's too much, I think. Whoops. All right, let's see what this looks like. That's kind of interesting. But can we... Let me see what this looks like here. I think it's just not showing those. What's happening here? Oh, those don't have p-scale on them, right? Yeah, they don't. That's why. Okay. They're at 0. There we go. That's kind of interesting. But maybe... I think we need to... do some relaxing here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Something's happening here. It's not perfect, but let's play with this a little here. Yeah, maybe this is right. Maybe this is what we need. I don't know. Kind of interesting. Wait a second. What's going on here? Ugh. Oh, right. I was looking at the wrong thing. Of course I was. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is so mad at me right now. Okay, let me think if there's a better way to do this. Okay, there is a better way of doing this. I can, instead of visualizing it here, like this, I can take this and I can actually do the attribute adjust float and do it times 2. Oh no, you're fine, cool. No worries about breaking any flow. It's nice for me to have a little break mentally sometimes. Okay, so this needs to be at 2, and then that will show what it actually looks like maybe when we get it to render over in Karma. Okay, yes. This is great. So what I've got here is I've got the ability to change the scale. Let's change this to 1. No. Be 0.5. No, that's too small. Maybe we'll do 0.75 on those spheres, and then that's a nice scale. Yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, let me think here. Yeah, that feels like we're getting somewhere here. So I think this is going to be the best way to do it. So I'm going to get rid of these just so we're not confusing ourselves here. And we're going to just reorganize this a little bit here. Let's do that. And so we've got our internal large surface bubbles. And maybe what we do actually, as I'm thinking about this, do these have normals on them? I think they do, right? Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a point VOP here. And I'm going to do a splice along normal. And let's see here. Why are these not moving? With Boolean big bubbles, put on top some bubbles. How do you do the trim? Another way you could VDB shift little. I'm not 100% sure the method you're saying there, cool, but yeah, I'm doing a little bit of Booleaning here, so I think we're sort of on the same page. Sorry, I'm just missing what you're saying there. And I'm not sure why this isn't working. Maybe it's because I didn't change my display flag. Duh. Okay. There we go. Perfect. So silly. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind the P scale in here. And we could use that for the amount, but negate it. And then let's see if we can't see where this surface is. Oh, I did the wrong one there. Like this. Yes, yes, yes. And those aren't visually correct because they're not 2 times. So they're right at this. They're basically touching the surface right now. So what I can do is do a multiply here as well in VOP. And we'll just promote this parameter here. And that'll give us we'll just call this P scale displacement factor. I don't know, something like that. Then up here, we should be able to adjust this. And if it's at 1, it'll go all the way in. And if not, be close to the surface. So maybe what we'll do is do like 0.4, maybe something like that. So they're like sunken in. And then if we do this, actually, this will kind of show us what it is we're dealing with here. So if we displace it down by like, let's actually do half. Why not? We'll do like half. So then this is going to subtract out some more from this VDB. Then when we do this, we're going to get different points. And let's take a look down here and see what we've got going on. And I think we'll see that those are like sunken in a little bit more into those surfaces. Yeah, they definitely are. And if we do this again, like say we did like even like 0.75, yeah, that's going to like really sink these into the surface like that. That's kind of interesting. That's doing some really weird display stuff going on here, I think. So this is interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this actually renders. But Yeah, I think that's actually going to be kind of cool like that. I'm going to turn this off. Um, yeah, there's some weird visibility stuff going on there. But anyways, cool. Oh, there's a couple of things happening here that I'm not super thrilled about. So what if I do that? Okay. Cool. All right. Let's give that a shot and see what we've got going on here. So then this will be out small bubbles. Oh, making the foam thin. The big bubbles have black underneath them. Yes. Yeah, I just think that's think that's just the light kind of dying off internally. I think that'll happen. We'll see. We'll see how that looks when we get to it. But I'm kind of feeling this. I think this will be kind of cool. Let's see where we get with it. See what we can get up to here. And there's some cool. That could be kind of a neat little spot to render there, something like that maybe. Oh no, your Houdini just crashed. Oh, well, you got to be careful for sure. There's, you're going to be yeah, that actually happened to me yesterday during work, and I was really frustrated. So yeah, we all have been there. We've all been there. Okay, so we've got all these different points, so that's great. Cool. Okay. Let's see what we can get up to here. So I'm going to turn these back to points. And we can see now we're going to get some nice, really fast stuff because we just have points. Oh, is it all static? Yes, for right now it's all static. I dare not try any type of crazy simulation type stuff. I think if you were doing simulation, you would have to... Man, I wonder if Flip could even... probably what you would do is you'd have to do some sort of like an NPM type thing or something like that. At the scale that I'm doing this, it's just it's going to be a disaster. Like, it's just going to be so slow. I don't think you could even fit this all into NPM because that's all GPU. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty tricky. So I'm just doing it static right now. But I'm just going to put another null down here just to say visualize. I could type visualize right there, and I'll just make that yellow. Save that up. Okay. Maybe we start to do some stuff here. Get into some actual... Get into some rendering maybe. Just to see where we're at. And then we can maybe... next time. Oh yeah, of course next time. Yeah, this doesn't really help us at all. That's not going to really show us anything different, but there we go. Okay, so yeah, let's start bringing this into a LOP network. Now, you could go over to the stage. This is literally going to be the exact same thing in this LOP network. So I just think it's easier for my navigation. Interesting. If I needed to make this in production, I'd probably try to see if you can do it with a texture. Custom displacement. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see there being some texture there. I wonder how you would be able to... No, I think you're right. I think the small scale stuff definitely could be. Yeah, Yeah, I could see that. The small scale stuff for sure. And then refraction passes. um yeah, I could see that as a texture thing. I think some of them are more textury than others, but yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's interesting. I also wonder how much of this was like hand sculpted or what, like I don't know. I don't know how this Andrej guy did it. So, yeah, questions, lots of questions. Some of this does look like texture. Like that could certainly be like a texture type thing. Yeah, lots of curious questions there. Anyways, let's go over to Solaris and start messing around with some stuff here. So, um, okay, we're gonna do a couple SOP imports. So let's do a SOP import here, and let's call this tubes. And we are going to grab from that SOP path out thick tubes. There we go. We've got our tubes. And this little error message, you see this come up. This is basically just talking about your Solaris layers. Basically, layers are where things are going to get. Oh, cool. You were doing some foam R&D a couple weeks back. Cool, nice. So basically, this is saying it's a SOP layer, and so what we can do is we could just copy this over into a new active layer. That should be fine. Then we'll basically be putting these all into the same active layer here. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. So let's just see. I'm going to do another SOP import, and I'm just going to watch this and make sure that let's see here. Let's just do the large surface bubbles. Okay, yeah, this is actually making new layers, so I don't really want to do that. Let's merge this into the existing active layer. There we go. I think that's what we're going to want here. Okay, so we'll call these large surface bubbles. Okay, so what we're going to want to do here is make some better hierarchy, right? Because right now we've kind of got some pretty average hierarchy going on here. So let's do this. Let's say we're going to say assets. Or let's do geo, and then we'll do tubes. So we'll do geo and then tubes with the mesh in it. And then this we'll say is going to be /geo/bubbles. And then there's going to be large surface bubbles in there. And we can actually kind of take this same node and just kind of go along down here. And let's do the medium internal bubbles. Now we've got those loaded in like so. We'll call these something like that. And those are going to go underneath here as well. So now we've got our bubbles and our tubes here. And last but not least, let's grab our small bubbles. Maybe we'll say small foam bubbles, something like that. Wait, I think I'm missing some people's messages here. Sorry, hold on a second. I feel like I'm missing something here, and I'm not thrilled with that. Am I not getting Twitch messages, maybe? Hold on. Sorry, give me a second. Give me a second, because I'm not seeing the message that he's saying Zach had. Nope. I am not. Tom, I'm not sure. Am I missing what Zach said? Let me know if I'm missing something here. I'm not seeing that. Oh, hey, Grant. Welcome. Oh, you couldn't post on Twitch, FYI. Really? Hmm. That's odd. Okay. Weird. That's really odd. I'd be curious if anybody else has the same issue. I think it won't let you post links on Twitch, but if that's what you were doing. But yeah, anyways, that's weird. Maybe I have to look into that. Anyways, okay, we've got our scene coming in here, and let's just see if we can't throw this into maybe CPU real quick and. Oh, cool. Thanks, Grant. Appreciate it. Okay, yeah, it looks like we've got some stuff going on here, so that's cool. He said something about a texture tutorial. Okay. I'm going to go over to YouTube because that's really odd if something's going on like this. Sorry. Just need to know if something's up. Oh, that's so weird. I just didn't get that one comment. Okay. Anyways. Huh, interesting. Zach, I hope I didn't miss any of your other stuff. Oh, cool. Okay, Silverwing did one on foam. I don't know. It's so weird. No, there you are. Maybe I'm just. Can I just not read? Maybe I'm just missing it somewhere. No, it just looks like it didn't get pulled over that one random comment. But no, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. Thanks. Thanks, Zach. Maybe you're a bot. Maybe oh, shoot. Did I ban you there? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyways, we're good. We're good. I don't know what that's all about. Okay. So the good thing is here is that we're bringing over this, our CPU or our P scale, and it's being seen by Karma and Solaris and all that kind of stuff. So that's great. Let's play around with this a little bit. So let's see here. We've got let's just do a Karma physical sky. I think that'll be good. Get that in here. Take a look at it real quick. I always like this just for like a quick render that looks like something nice. Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Let's go back. Let's do a material library. I think that'll be probably the simplest thing to do here. And we'll jump inside, make a Karma material builder. We'll call this tube mat. And this is going under our materials primitive here. So we've got our tube mat. I think what I'm going to want to do with this is, let's see, what color do we want these to be? Maybe I'll make them sort of my Houdini Hangout colors. I don't even know what they are off the top of my head, but that's close enough. think the other one's is obviously the other one's an orangish kind of color, but yeah, that should be good for right now. So let's do that. And then let's also, kind of curious, maybe some subsurface would be kind of neat. I don't know. Let's try that. Let's try a little subsurface. So we'll copy this parameter, paste the relative reference there. So we're getting the same base and subsurface. Up that. And let's come back over here and turn on CPU and see what we get. Oh, the same thing because I'm silly and forgot to assign it. So let's assign some materials here. Now we could use the assigned material. Hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do the material linker. Why not? Do something a little different for a change. All right, so we've got our tube material here. I'm going to uncheck this at the bottom, and we're going to grab our geo tubes. So do this, sorry, and then this. And there we go. Now we should actually have something going on here. Let me go inside of my material library and grab this. I'm going to change the scale down a bit because I think the scale's too big. And let's see. All right, let's do something like that. That's kind of cool. And then let's pull this down a little here. You know what I should do as well? It's often nice to throw a camera in here for a couple reasons, but it's nice because it actually kind of gives you like a little bit more of like a restricted view, and you're not going to render the top and, you know, outside of a 16:9 image anyways. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit more of a restricted area being seen, because then you're kind of focusing a little more. The render will go a little quicker too. Okay. So we've got that. Let's continue to play a little here. So we've got our tube material. Let's do a another karma material. And this will say large bubbles. And this is going to be have high transmission. I think we're going to do a thin wall geometry on it. And I think the color, we're going to do like a kind of, we'll do like the yellowy sort of orangish here, maybe something like that. Probably have that be on the transmission as well. Maybe. We'll see. Again, I'm not a shader builder. I'm not a rendering person. It's not my forte. So we're gonna give this a shot. See what happens. Large bubbles. There we go. And we're gonna put that into the large surface bubble. There we go. Okay. Okay. Interesting. And then let's maybe see what we can do here. So maybe we'll do a, like, maybe I'll just call these foam bubbles, and these will be all the rest of them. And this could maybe be a little bit like more white, maybe. And like add some white into it. And maybe we'll do this, and then we'll take medium and small and throw those in there. But I think those we want less transmission on as I'm looking at this. Or maybe some like roughness, maybe. All right, what I'm going, I seem to be doing fine so far with the stream. I wonder if these are actually, these bubbles are too big. Get, oh. All right, I'm going to try this on XPU. Hopefully we don't have anything too crazy go on here. We're compiling. That's a lot of little spheres. Sure is. It's funny, I actually kind of think that the CPU version was like almost, wasn't really doing that much better, but interesting. It's interesting that my optics is so low. Oh, I'm getting jittery. All right. Nope. We're calling it. We're just going to go back to CPU. That should hopefully be a little better. Yeah, this is where I knew I'd struggle with things because, like I said, I am certainly not. I'm not a renderer, or I'm not someone that does like look dev stuff. Yeah, no worries. I mean, yeah, that's one part I understand is the scene graph tree, but making it look pretty is a totally different thing. Yeah, there's lots of different ways you can organize a scene too, which is whatever. I'm just trying to be somewhat neat and tidy. And that's an important thing to kind of mess with there. Yeah, I mean, it does look, there's a part of me now that's looking at this and going, yeah, maybe a texture is the better way of doing it. How to make that texture is whole nother question. I mean, certainly it would be a Copernicus thing. But Lord knows I'm not very good at that. So maybe that's another thing to look at some other day. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know here. Let's just look at some more stuff here. If we do that. Oops. What am I doing here? I'm clicking on things like a dummy. All right, let me decouple these because maybe that's my problem. Maybe I don't want them to be exactly the same. A big light from the bottom with high intensity? Yeah, sure. Why not? Give it a shot. Well, another thing we're definitely running into is, let's see if I put a karma node down here. And I mean, we're definitely running up against some refraction limits here. 100% have to be. I think I'm seeing some changes there, right? Oh yeah, definitely. So let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, I probably needed the subsurface on too. That would probably help. Yeah, that's a good idea for making a sheet of bubbles and then baking that or something. Yeah, fog volume is kind of an interesting thing too. I mean, you could certainly do that and have it fall off as it goes through it. Yeah. For sure. That's an interesting idea. I'm going to copy this and just paste the values. We'll see sort of what we can get up to here. So let me grab this. Make this more or less saturated, I should say. Yeah, exactly. The bubbles would be pulled out of it. Yep. I'm going to do a render region here and just see if I can't just kind of do a region of interest here, like so. Maybe speed it up a touch. I'm also going to put a... Oh, that's so weird. Wow. That just doesn't even know what to do with all those spheres. That's crazy. It's like super confused about what to do with that. Oh, that's so weird. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like... All right, let's turn this back to Vulkan. Let's go back up here. Let's go back to the foam and let's just see if maybe, just maybe, turn this back to lit spheres. Maybe these are actually too big. Let's try that. Carlos is just saying, from an organic overlaying shape, it feels like a liquid sim and then big bubbles added on top afterwards. Yeah, it could be. It certainly could be. Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting kind of look at it. Let's see if we can't resolve anything out of that real quick. Yeah, you certainly could do that. You could do a liquid sim of some sort, get a surface from that, lay the bubbles on top of it, Um, yeah, yeah, that certainly would be a way to go about it. It's always groundbreaking rendering with me. It's yeah, it's never something I'm proud of at the end of it. I'm always like, God, it's just a skill I've never really what's the word, exercised. I haven't exercised this skill very much. So yeah, let me put a big light at the bottom. Someone suggested that. We'll give that a shot. I got no better ideas, so let's do it. Yeah, we'll do like a big. Oh, I'm still in the camera, dummy. Make the layer of bubbles smaller than that. I see. Okay. That's interesting. Um, let's see here. We need a. We could probably do a. Maybe we'll do an area light. Let's see. Clear that. Clear render region. Do an area light down here. Something like that, maybe. That's too far. Let's bring that up. And that is going under lights. Great. That's good. Put this up here. There you go. Yeah, Zach, if you're the look master, that sounds awesome. I like that idea. Yeah, combo stream. Yeah, I should have more people on. That is a an accurate thing to say. I should have more people on. Oh my gosh, rotate a light. How to rotate a light with Peter. There we go. Jeez. Okay, that seems good. I'm just gonna put this at 0 and 0, so it's kind of in the middle. And maybe we'll make that a little bigger. All right. Let's see what that looks like. Foam is hard. Oh, I'm sure it's hard. No, it's actually like really smushy and it's not hard at all. But sorry, that's like a dad joke. It's a bad one. Okay, let's see here. I'm just going crazy for no reason. All right. Yeah. And the other thing you suggested, which I liked, was let's do an even thinner layer of foam here instead of it being super thick. We'll do a thin layer. So let's do this. Oh, I did that last week. Where was it? Here, maybe? Yes. So let's do negative 3. 5. All right, let's try 3.5. That's too. All right, let's do that. What does that look like? Oh, nice. Thank you so much. Yeah, get some sleep. Holy cow, it's late. Yeah, get some sleep. Glad to have you. Enjoy some rest. 2 a.m. in France. Yeah, that is brutal, man. Sorry about that. Or yeah, sorry for the late night. But yes, get some sleep. Okay, let's see here. How does this look now? Any different? Pull it up. I mean, not really. Oh, that's kind of weird looking there. That's interesting. There's some weird stuff happening. Let's see here. Render region. Look at that. Oops, sorry. Kicked my desk. Watching paint dry. Oh, interesting. No. That's great. No, Tom, I appreciate the suggestions. No, it's great. He's just saying that he really likes having two scene views open, one with the camera rendering and one looking through the active light. Interesting. Yeah, I don't find the active I don't find the active light view to be super intuitive for me. I understand what you're saying. Like that does make some sense. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's like the most intuitive thing I can think of. Like for me personally, but yeah, that just might be my brain. Because I'm always thinking about things from the standpoint of working in like a studio and like where I want to put my lights and stuff like that, which I'm not that great at anyways, but I've done it a little bit. So like that's what I think of more so. And so for me, I'm like, oh yeah, I want a light over here and over here and over here and that type of a thing. And like that helps. That is kind of how my brain thinks about it. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I mean I'm always fascinated like how people work. There's so many different like ways that you can work and stuff like that. Like different layouts and views and things like that. So yeah, that's an interesting one though. That might be something. Oh, hello. Might be worth trying one of these days. Let me see. Actually, let me go back up here, and I'm just gonna try to cut this down a little more because that is actually starting to do some really interesting looking things. Where did it go? Where did? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. No, there. We're right on the edge. That's why. That's almost getting some light through there. So that's kind of interesting. I think so. Yes. But that's a great question. Let me double check. Let me double check. On the large bubbles, it is. Yes. Please tell me I didn't do it on this. No, I did do it on this one. The thin walled. Yes. Yep. Yes, they are thin walled. Um. Yeah, there's some stuff's happening here. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's not the same thing, but yeah, I think a texture is probably the smarter way to go about doing this. To be honest, um, I'm not sure how I would do like the. I guess you'd have to do all of the bubbles like on as like a surface thing. So we'd need more like surface, more like random surface bubbles and things like that. The other thing I'm not 100% sure about is like how to get these. It's all kind of merging together, which is the interesting thing. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So much color happening. Yeah, there's a little bit there. I don't really know what is happening there, but something's happening. I don't know. That just started when I like thinned up the geometry. I don't know. I guess it's just the light is just blasting too much, maybe. Yeah, refracted light. Yeah, it's like too much. Yeah, this is why I don't do a ton of rendering because it's like I can't really use my whole computer while I'm doing it, and I mean I am using 100% of my computer right now, and so it's chugging along, but then it's like it's so slow. It's like I can't really like resolve. No, I don't know. That's a good question. Nope. What is this? Hmm. All right. What if I turn this back up? Maybe not that much. Oh, you know what? Can I do this here? Yeah, I think I can. I can do this. This is a really fun thing that I never knew you could do. There's a 2D pan in this and it just pans the viewport. Not wacky. I just saw somebody do that recently. I was like, whoa, that is crazy. Then you can go back to this and this is your 2D view. So this like panning. I would leave it off. Oh, okay. Leave it off. uh, I turned it off and I'm like, oh yeah, cool. This is cool. Shows how much I know about this stuff. Well, I think we're getting. I mean, it's something, right? I've never claimed to be a rendering specialist. Really, more so talking about the geometry and things like that. So, don't want to repeat of last week. I didn't even realize what you meant by that. You meant when I when I did the bubble mesh thing and everything crashed. Oh, that was fun. No, that was actually wildly entertaining for me. No, it was really wasn't too bad. I'm kind of curious to see how this would actually work in XPU without, everything in the world trying to use my GPU right now. If it would actually be able to do a little bit better. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, there's definitely some interesting stuff going on there. I wouldn't say that it's what I was hoping for, but it's kind of interesting. Another thing I'm just kind of wondering about right now. I'm going to set this back to Vulkan. What is this going to do when I jump up a level? Curious. Okay, that's interesting. It stayed basically in the exact same spot. I'm actually going to turn this way down. Maybe like to 4. Just out of curiosity. Like, what's that going to do? Because it feels like there's no definition to those. They're just all just a mush, which seems weird. Like, why is it such a mush? Like, are they too big? I don't know. Gosh, I like literally just want to do like right here. Maybe it'd be better to zoom in instead of doing this. I'm gonna turn that. Let's see. How do I reset this? Nope, that's the wrong thing. How do I reset this? Oh, this here. Hey, good lad. Welcome. Yeah, stream's going okay. Not too bad. All right, so let's kill this. Oh, clear that. And let's just zoom in, maybe? Oh, I'm still in that one. Shoot. Clear that, this, there we go. See what this looks like. If we come in here, yeah, sure. It's resolving. Maybe. Let's see. Let me do something here. Let me just turn this down. Maybe that's going too crazy. Let's just do this and this, just real quick. Just for fun. I'll just set that something more, maybe a little more reasonable. I feel like this is like, I gotta squint my eyes and kind of like be like, what am I looking at here? Exactly. Oh, man. This is where oh yeah, I can actually start to see the spheres now. This is, you probably can't even see this well on this. Oh, bye. Bye, me. My gosh. Ay. Okay. Well, hopefully you can hear me now. So when I faded that off, it faded that away somehow. I don't know. Anyways. Yep. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, now I don't feel so bad about my computer crashing. Yeah, it's, streaming and running video processing and doing all this stuff at the same time is just, it's a little too crazy. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Opaque parts of the foam to a fog volume. So yeah, maybe you would just do the surface and then do the rest of it as a as a fog volume. Yeah. I mean that seems logical. Um um let me see here. Why? Yeah, time to get a few 5090s. Yeah, if they were actually available, yes, maybe it would be time. Um Cool. Okay. Well, I think we are going to maybe call this here and just say we did something. Sorry for my weird little icon down at the bottom there. Um, I'm not sure. Those things are trash supposedly. Oh, yeah, the cable thing. Yeah, there's always issues like that. I'm sure they're whatever. I mean, everything has issues at some point, so yeah. Um okay. Well, anyways, I'm going to save that up and I guess we'll just say that's kind of the end here because I can't really think of anywhere else to go with this really this evening. And if you want to play around with this, certainly the um the links are available. Yeah, the 5090s. Yep. Yes, I do know what you mean. If you'd like a invite to the Discord server, there's always lots of nice conversations happening over there, helpful things, people giving suggestions and stuff like that. So feel free to jump over there and take a look. And yeah, so next week we'll come up with something different, get into some other interesting things. But I'm glad we at least got something where we were able to kind of finish up the thought we were having last week. And I think there's definitely better ways to do this. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this week. And yeah, thank you all for joining and for being a part of it. And yeah, we didn't crash my computer completely this time, so that's kind of cool. Only my video got all goofed up. So yeah, that's it for this week, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great one, and maybe chat with you on the Discord. All right, talk to you later, everybody. Bye-bye.